Hey, Facebook, good morning. And podcast listeners, good morning. It's 8:14 on this Thursday. It's June 30th. Can you believe that it is the last day of June? I personally can't, but for those of you who can, congratulations. I feel like time has just been flying by. Okay, I'm Se Kwon, and I want to get you caught up on our morning headlines on this Thursday. So let's start with something that might affect you if you drive throughout the night or if you drive overnight. Tonight, far south on I-29, southbound lanes near the new 64th Avenue overpass is going to be closed from 9 tonight to 5 tomorrow morning. So 9 p.m. to 5 a.m. Crews are going to be installing some beams for the overpass, and there will be some detour signs on the road. You should be treating that zone though like a work zone. So drive slow and use some caution. Just know that crews are out there working, and yeah, be careful when you're driving if you have to. Okay, also today we are expecting to learn more from the TSA about some new changes coming to the airport in Fargo, Hector International. So we have kind of told you guys about this all throughout last week too, but TSA is going to be adding some 3D imaging scanners to security checkpoints, and hopefully, you know, they're thinking long term that that's really going to help with summer travel delays or just delays in general, and hopefully speed up the process for travelers in the near future. If you want to check it out, if you want to see what that would look like, you can just go to the TSA's website, and they're really neat. Those are going to be installed at Hector sometime next month. So today, the TSA is going to be speaking a little bit about what these would do and the benefits of it and everything more that, you know, people might have questions about. But yeah, we wanted to let you know that that's going on today. Also, farmers, ranchers in North Dakota, you're going to want to listen to this. It is your last chance, your last day to apply for a fuel tax refund. So a reminder, farmers, ranchers, you guys can get a refund of 23 cents per gallon. Industrial consumers, you can get 22.5 cents per gallon of gas. This also applies to gasohol, which is that gas mixed with ethanol. We also learned that ag workers got more than $150,000 in refunds for nearly 700,000 gallons of fuel last year. So just give you some perspective. If you're interested, just go to this website, nd.gov/tax, or you could just head to our website, InForum.com, for more information. Okay, also right now, North Dakota's Department of Transportation is looking for your feedback, and it has to do with traffic patterns on the I-94 Exit 257 bridge project in Jamestown. So if you recall, 2 weeks ago, construction crews actually shut down that exit, Exit 257, to make some repairs, and that work is still continuing as we speak right now. So while they continue working on it, they're hoping to hear how other people living in that area or who drive in that area feel on you know, about traffic patterns. If you want to do that, all you have to do is go to dot.nd.gov/exit 257, or you could literally just type in Google North Dakota DOT exit 257 or survey, and I'm sure something will pop up there. This is only open to people living in North Dakota, so Minnesota residents, you are not invited to take this one, and you have all summer to submit your feedback. So wanted to let you know that that is an option for you, and if you're interested in sharing your input, you can certainly do that right now and throughout the summer. Okay, South Dakota sports fans, this is for you. I think it's pretty interesting because we just talked about yesterday that NDSU is trying to get a very similar policy approved for games inside the Fargo Dome. Well, South Dakota Board of Regents just approved this new alcohol policy that allows the 6 universities that are governed by the board to sell alcoholic beverages in general admission areas when it comes to performing arts and athletic events. This is a big change, and this can take effect starting next school year, or this upcoming school year, but public universities are not required to follow it. So again, very similar to what we told you guys about yesterday on First News, if you're familiar, how they're trying to allow alcohol sales or the rights to sell alcohol inside the Fargo Dome. So very similar. If you're a little bit curious, it was really cool. I wish I got to include more of this in the story, but it was all student-led, and that issue, at least, was student-led in South Dakota, and they brought it to the Board of Regents, and it was a really neat. So if you're interested in hearing more about that, you can always head to our website, InForum.com. Okay, today, hundreds and hundreds of Minnesota National Guard members could be forced to leave the military. And that's because today is the deadline for all of them to get vaccinated against COVID. And that deadline was actually set by the Defense Department. So I looked at some numbers today, and here's what I found. 95% of the Guard's 13,000 members are vaccinated so far. So a pretty high rate, right? Of that group, nearly 2% did request a religious or medical exemption. 3% just outright refused to get the shot. So this means when you tally it up together, more than 600 members of the National Guard could be forced to leave. Leaders there, though, are saying they're really going to try to work with these members who are a little bit hesitant about getting the vaccine and whatnot. So we'll let you know what comes out of that. Sticking with COVID, though, also today in Minnesota, the state is going to be changing how it reports COVID cases, COVID hospitalizations, COVID deaths, everything more when it comes to COVID. We saw this morning on the State Department of Health's website, more than 1.5 million people have now tested positive for the virus in the state since the pandemic started in 2020. And right now, health experts are saying, okay, we're going to start updating these numbers, once a week, because they're saying that the demand for testing at community testing centers across the state has also dropped. This, of course, comes as North Dakota switched to weekly reporting as well just 3 months ago. So kind of following that same suit there. Sticking in Minnesota, we also learned right before we got on the air this morning, it was a good catch by Elisa. There is now a second confirmed case of monkeypox in the state of Minnesota. I don't want to scare you, and I don't think it's something worth scared of. There's vaccines out there that's been out there for a long time. But I do want to make sure, as my job, it's my job to inform you of what's happening in our home states, right? So the State Department of Health in Minnesota says that 2 cases have now been confirmed in Minnesota. So if you aren't familiar, the first case was just confirmed on Monday, and that was because of someone who traveled to Europe recently. And the second case, we don't know much information about that just yet, but we do know that those 2 cases are unrelated. They don't know each other. So right now, federal health officials are taking some steps to try and slow the spread of this virus right now. Vaccination testing efforts, of course, are being discussed among the CDC and the Biden administration. So wanted to let you know about that, just in case you're hearing about it, but you're not really getting the full extent of monkeypox where you live or in your state. 2 monkeypox cases reported so far in Minnesota. I really do want to check North Dakota. I know that I probably would know about that if there was a monkeypox case reported here. I just want to make sure that there isn't. And so far, I'm not seeing anything. But, of course, if that's the case, we'll of course let you know. And lots of Minnesota news today, but this one I found really interesting, though. Health leaders in Minnesota actually have a new concern right now. It's not monkeypox. It's not necessarily COVID. It's STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. And that's because there's been a huge increase, you could call it a spike, in STDs recently. So we had Lisa take a look at the trends, and leaders, those health leaders actually found out that there's a very big spike in one of those diseases, and they're calling it even a historic increase. So we looked at some data that was just released yesterday. It goes from 2020 to 2021, and the largest increase that health leaders saw cases for was syphilis. That went from about 1,100 cases in 2020 to 1,400 cases last year. So that's a 33% increase, right? We also know that health leaders did report a 5% decrease in gonorrhea cases and a 3% increase in chlamydia cases. So we wanted to let you know about that. Now let's break it down a little bit more by county and county, right, here in our area. Clay County, the most common STD with chlamydia, while the state is reporting 300 cases per 100,000 people. Gonorrhea came in second with 101 cases, and syphilis is third with 0 to 3 cases. Polk County, rates for chlamydia and gonorrhea are slightly lower, County is seeing right now 151 chlamydia cases per 100,000 people, 51 gonorrhea cases, and 0 to 3 syphilis cases. Some tips for you before we end off this one. I wanted to let you know that you can always, do your best to try to slow this spread just by testing yourself, and especially if you think that you actually have the disease, and treat it right away. If your test does come back positive, I don't think it's anything to be ashamed of. I think it's just something to get taken care of. So I wanted to let you know about that. Okay, let's talk flights and travel and airline delays. Delta, and I have like a little bit of a personal experience I'd like to share here too, which I would have liked to know about before I read this to you. But Delta Airlines is issuing this waiver, and essentially what that is allowing is for customers to rebook their flight without having to pay the difference or the fare change, right? So the only way you can actually be under this and be covered by this policy is you have to have tickets to fly between July 1st and July 4th. Then it needs to be rebooked and then begin by July 8th and start and end at the same airport that it was originally booked for. Waiver does allow customers to pay for the same price for rebooked tickets, even if that new fare is more expensive. And this also does include basic economy fares, which are normally excluded from such offers, right? So this is the personal experience. Last weekend, I was just traveling to Austin, Texas, and I realized that my flight was canceled out of like 3 other flights that were canceled. And I was flying out of Minneapolis, and I just thought, it's a little bit weird. Well, there's a lot of, flight cancellation travel talk that's going on, especially because as we are basically a day away, you could even say right now, today is your holiday weekend. But you gotta think, there's a nationwide pilot shortage. There have been storms that have disrupted takeoff or even landing for that matter. And because of so many of these flight cancellations and delays, Senator Bernie Sanders is demanding some action with these airlines right now. He sent a letter to the Department of Transportation, and in it, he was urging penalties for airlines with significant delays and cancellations. Here's how big of a penalty he's talking here. Domestic flights delayed more than 2 hours, or international flights delayed for, more than 3 hours. He wants to fine the airline $15,000 per passenger. That's a lot of money, you guys. If a flight is canceled, Sanders wants these airlines to pay $55,000 per passenger, which I think is so crazy. But selfishly, I wish that these were a thing already, or I wish that Delta would let me rebook my flight for free, for the same charge when my flight was delayed for Austin. So I thought it was kind of neat that I had kind of a personal experience with that. Okay, today, big day, historic day in the Supreme Court. First black woman to be a justice will be sworn in. We're talking about Ketanji Brown Jackson. You've probably heard about her a lot in the recent days. She is set to take her place in the court at about 11 o'clock this morning, our time. She will be replacing the retiring Justice Stephen Breyer, and we will show you that ceremony on WDAY Extra. And speaking of, you can also watch Hot Mic with Dom Izzo on WDAY Extra, or you could stream it on our website, InForum.com. It's on from 9 to 11, and right after his show is done, that's where the ceremony will be streamed on Extra. So, Dom's always got a lot of great guests on every single time, so you should go join him, obviously, 9 to 11, WDAY Extra, InForum.com. And, of course, you can always head over to our website, InForum.com/subscribe, if you're interested. And just by typing that in, you can get access to your first 3 months of unlimited access for 99 cents a month. So again, that's InForum.com/subscribe. I don't know how long this offer lasts. I've actually gotten some messages privately asking, does this offer last until like Christmas, or I can't remember exactly the words, but I don't know. The answer is I don't know, so I'm telling you about this, and you take advantage of it while you can. All right, everybody, we do have newscasts 4, 5, 6, 9, and 10, and yeah, you should go join us or join them, and then we'll be back here tomorrow morning from 5 to 7. before you head out to the lake or wherever you want to go for your 4th of July plans. All right, everybody, have a great day. We'll see you back here tomorrow morning.